I am currently playing outside of the map right now, and you might be wondering, how?
How is never as important as why.
Well, the map of Marvel Spider-Man 2 is enormous, being double the size of the original. But size isn't all that matters, because now even the original map is more detailed and very diverse with NPCs and cars. But furthermore, the extension to Brooklyn and Queens makes it one of the best representations of New York City to date. But have you ever noticed this section next to Brooklyn that seems like it's an explorable area of the map? All the detail of the buildings is presented on the map, and it is even underexposed, just like other areas of the map that we're yet to explore yet. But in reality, we cannot go there. So why is it like this? Well, to find out more, we first need to go there to find out exactly what we're dealing with. So observing the map from the outside, we can see that this is just like the existing environment of Brooklyn Heights, and the density and the detail of the buildings is continued throughout, and you can tell that the skylines further away are just copied and pasted as fillers. This is the only detailed section here. And to find out more about the secret area, we need to try get inside of it. And we can't just do this through trying to swing in directly, as that'll direct us back out into the playable area due to it being out of bounds. For this, we need to get as close to the edge of the playable area as possible and see if photo mode can take us further past that point. Yes, it looks like it's possible. Wait, no. I've heard that if you go to this bridge here, you can use one of the trains to push you out of the map, so that's exactly what we're going to try and do, and then swing around the borders of the playable area to explore this hidden location on the map. Hey, I'm outside of the map. After freeing Spider-Man from the eternal prison of Manhattan Island, we now need to cross the river, and to do so faster, I'm going to have to double web zip, then glide for a while.
Double tap to release and whip it out again.
And then I realised that you can actually perch in these boats all the way outside of the map. Wait, the people out here are actually rendered. They aren't the square heads from the previous games. I wonder what that means. So this begs the question, what else is there outside of the map that we can explore? We're going to stop at this island above Queens first, as it seems to be pretty jungly from the minimap. Upon approaching the islands, it seems very abandoned and overgrown. These areas aren't marked on the map as something we can explore, rather something that just exists. And this is backed up by the fact that we cannot actually land here. No ground exists, it's all just water. But then getting closer to the buildings on the island, despite not being able to land here, I was still able to perch onto this pole. Wherever it is. But not just that, the entire place looked very beautiful. There's just something about Spider-Man gliding through the jungle style environment that feels so fresh and unique. Crossing the river back to the mainland of Queens, we find ourselves in this really sci-fi style area. This again looks very unique, and after flying around it for a while, I can confirm that this has got to be the Stark Expo, which, if you can recall from Iron Man 2, is held in Queens, New York. But we also cannot land here, and even the buildings this time you cannot interact with at all. However, something to note here with both of these is that both times poles are recognized as something to point launch to, and trees are also recognized as something to swing from, but the buildings itself aren't. So far we have had a really tropical, overgrown, abandoned island, and then we've also seen a futuristic expo center, but now is the real deal. We're about to go visit the part of the map that apparently exists in the game, and upon arrival, it does not disappoint. Oh my god, I can land here. I have made contact with the ground. That's one big step in the right direction, because even the bridges that connect to Manhattan Island, once out of the playable area, also just cease to exist. So the fact that we can even stand here while being outside of the map is really interesting. And moving on further in this area, we can see that there are cars here? Hold up, there are actual traffic jams, AI here for cars despite being so far from the borders of the playable area. And another block into the city, we see even more signs of life. There are people out here living their lives outside of the map. And it isn't just the fact that there are people and cars here, is that every asset for the city to function is present. Everything from working traffic lights, street signs, lampposts, parked cars, working pedestrian AI, and detailed buildings signifying what's a shop and what's not is all there. It's as if Insomniac were initially adding this area of the map but left it to be released later. And to further prove this point, there is just a ton of detail everywhere, from detailed rooftops to even the different sounds of the different materials when we land on them, and even details of the interiors. Like, there's someone watching TV in this room, a spider plushie in this room, and even a subscribe button in this room. Wait, that's odd. None of this can be seen at all from the current map, so the real question is, why does all of this exist? There's practically an entire, uncompleted, fully playable 2 districts worth of map in here that we cannot access, and we cannot even see. So what's the deal? Well, my best bet would be is that this district was originally meant to make it to the game, but they ran out of time to fully implement it. But they made sure that all the assets were there, and they were probably saving it for a future update, or more realistically a DLC, since all the assets for the map expansion already exists there. All that is required now is a little tuning to make everything fit into place and add the final touches to make the city come together. This would then mean that the file size of the DLC wouldn't be requiring you to download a dozen gigabytes of data, and rather it'll be significantly less. And something else we're potentially going to have in the DLCs is Carnage. Cletus Cassidy was already established through the Flame side missions in the main game, and it would be perfect to just finish all the symbiote storylines in this game rather than carrying it on to the next game, where it may be a bit too cluttered with everything going on, especially with Silk, Green Goblin, Dr. Octavius, and who knows what else. But the reason I'm bringing up Carnage here is because Cletus's child home was in St. Estes, home for unwanted children. Now this was destroyed, but the ruins of this building is located in Brooklyn, and it was the place where Spider-Man met Carnage for the first time. But it doesn't look like these ruins currently exist in the Marvel Spider-Man 2 map, but this expansion would be a perfect chance to add it for a Carnage storyline. But even if that concept is far-fetched, this is still huge news for us. There is an entire unused section of the map here in this game. If there was even at least a DLC-sized standalone game just like Miles Morales was, this would be the perfect opportunity to develop an expansion for the game like that. And even when it comes to Marvel Spider-Man 3, the map will get significantly larger beyond this extension alone, if this is already what we have in Marvel Spider-Man 2. So let us know what you think is the deal with this entire unused part of Brooklyn, and if a DLC will be expanding to this section in the future. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I shall see you guys in the next one.